in 48 years of business. In 48 years of business, I've never seen anything.
The most common reaction
It sounds like we finally have some of our drivers about to exit their pit boxes. While they go through that, go through a rundown of the standings here. We have Vexing Track sitting P1, followed by Funky Cactus in second in the standings. Both of those guys are in the Racing Point. They've had a terrific season so far. And after the exit of Deluxe Cord, being promoted into Division 2 and no longer racing Division 4, these guys have a tightly contested battle going into the end of the season. Fall behind them in third is LDR Redeemer in the McLaren. Then we have PV9 Magic in the Williams, followed out by the two Red Bulls of Orange Crush and Dark Ghost, who is actually no longer with PPR anymore. And fall behind them is Big Mr. Brown, Father Corn, and Groggy Oregano, rounding out the top 10 here in our standings. And it looks like we finally have Big Mr. Brown here, about to start his very first lap of the evening. See what he can do in that beautiful McLaren. Oh, and not the best turn one that Big Mr. Brown would want, but should be said he is on the medium tires, so suggests to me this is just a banker lap for Big Mr. Brown. We've seen through all of our divisions so far this week, most of the top 10 have all opted to be on the softs. We'll see if that is the same case here tonight. As Big Mr. Brown's now coming through Lesmo 1 and 2. He's had a fairly clean lap here on the mediums, but definitely a whole lot of time still left out on track. Ooh, and touching the gravel there, that could have possibly invalidated his lap, however, it's not showing it on the track map. That's going to cost him a lot of time now coming into Parabolica. Carrying as much speed as possible, slamming it down on the throttle, and it's going to cross the line. It's a 121.9 there for Big Mr. Brown, and our first set time of the evening. Followed up behind him is Fontes in the Toro Rosso, also setting his first time of the day on the mediums. Very slow time. It's going to be a 124.8. Can only assume that Fontes had some sort of mistake right there. Unless we got Ollie's. I'm sorry, that was actually Best-Teon there in the Mercedes. I get my colors mixed up, but Best-Teon going 121.8, but Vexing Track easily besting him with a 120.2. Father Corn behind them with a 121.6, so Vexing a stellar lap compared to what the rest of the field has been able to do so far. And there goes that man, Funky Cactus, the 120.4. He's just 0.2 off right now from his teammate of Vexing. We'll take it on board here with Boosted GMC. I believe this is his first official league race here in PPR. I believe his first ever league race. This is his first league that he has ever been in, so we wish him the best of luck tonight. Looking pretty slow here on this lap, so we'll go ahead and take this to one of our other guys. See what PV9 Magic's about to cross the line at. Ooh, very well done there. That's P4 for the Williams driver. This is a 120.7. Definitely some room to improve right there. He's half a second off from Vexing Track and P1. Looks like we have Groggy out on the hard compound tire. Wonder what he is thinking strategy-wise. Definitely do not want to start your race on those tires, but nonetheless, he's qualified P9. We go on board here with the Banana Boat Boy of the coach. The roundabout Parabolica. Gets set time, but he will right now, and that's a 122.5 for the coach, who is doing the most as P10 so far for him. Still 3 drivers yet to set a time. Unfortunately, it looks like Greek Wookie did invalidate on his, so you have to make another go at it. It looks like Sproutley's done the same as well. There's also 2 laps on those softs, so he might just be getting some practice laps in. Same with Vexing here. Vexing's actually done 2 laps already on his set of softs. Yeah, and there he goes into the pit. So definitely going to want to improve from his time, because those tires are not going to be what he wants to start this race on. It looks like Big Mr. Brown really is just getting some banker laps in. Or I should say some practice laps, because he's 3 laps here on the medium, so not really going for the fastest lap quite yet. Probably just getting some practice in, but it looks like we have, I believe that is a Toro Rosso off the track. And that, yes, that was Fontes going off. Luckily, doesn't look like he's got any damage, so he's going to go back up and running very quickly. We'll go ahead and just stick it on board here with Funky Cactus, who's currently on his outlap. Looking to see if he can beat out PPR Arlies and his teammate for pole position. Should be said that him and Arlies have done the exact same lap time. That is amazing. It's a 120.425 from both drivers. It is very rare that you see 2 guys setting the same exact time in a qualifying session. Funky Cactus is now on his lap coming through turn 1. Only getting a little bit of the curve right there. We want to take just a little bit more, but doing very well out of turn 2. He's currently looking very well set on his lap. A great job of not invalidating. It's very easy to take too much of the curb right there. He comes through Lesmo 1 and now into Lesmo 2. And really probably coming through the toughest part of the circuit for most drivers. That is the Ascari chicane. We see some yellow flags. That looks like the Alfa Romeo Father Corn has gone off. See that impedes Funky's lap. Oh, looks like Father Corn's just gotten out of the way. And Funky carries on his lap. And that will be P1 for Funky Cactus. That's a 1:19.8 for him. Very solid, but now his teammate of Vexing Track taking his shot at it here. Have a little shootout between teammates and championship rivals. As Vexing Track's now going purple through sector 1. And he's still maintaining that speed very nicely. Got a Red Bull pulling off to the side of the track there. I believe that was Orange Crush just getting out the way. Vexing Track is on a fantastic lap right now, taking some stellar lines. has got more yellows in front of him. It looks like we have a Mercedes going very slowly. Vexing not getting as good as an exit as we saw his teammate do out of Ascari, but he's going to have some slipstream here from the Toro Rosso with Fontes. This might help him out just enough to steal pole position as we have 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in the session. And unfortunately, that was not enough for Vexing. He actually didn't even improve on his time. It looks like Groggy has gone off and also left the session. Unsure what's going on with him. See if we can pick him up. Oh, and unfortunately his car is already gone, so we'll not be able to see what just happened with Groggy there. That is very unfortunate there for the Haas driver, who's been struggling quite a bit after the exit of his teammate. Now on board here with PP9 Magic. Oh, nearly making contact there with the Greek Wookie. Greek Wookie was holding his line, letting Magic go by, and I think he might have thought Magic preferred to stay on the inside, and that could have been catastrophic for those guys. As Magic's now going to cross the line. That is now P3 for him. His teammate of PPR Ollie's still in the pits there. But at the moment, we have a Williams v Racing Point battle going on here in qualifying. Racing Point sitting 1-2, and Williams in 3rd and 4th. And that Alfa Romeo Father Corner is the only thing splitting up the Mercedes team of Tayon and Sprightly. And speaking of Sprightly, we're on board with him right now. Or the coach is about to set another lap, so going to see what he can cross the line with, but he is already 3.5 tenths over on his time, so it doesn't look like he's able to place himself in the top 10 here. And he will not, just barely improving on his time. Looks like he must have lost that time through sector 2. And now go on board here with Boosted Media, who's nearly 2.5 tenths, or 2.5 seconds, I'm sorry, up on his time. Quite possibly put himself in the top 10. Oh, and that is 5th place for Boosted GMC. I apologize, I actually just called him Boosted Media for a second. That is a YouTuber. But Boosted GMC now going P5, looking very nicely set in his debut race. We'll now take it back down here to Father Korn, who is 1/2 second up on his time. Surely going to get up there. Yeah, that's going to be P5 there for Father Korn. Sprightly is still sitting P8. Unfortunately, was not able to best his time. Now I'll take this on down to the Toro Rosso Afontis. Starting to lead the final train of cars. A lot of guys come to the pits to put on fresh tires and then head back out for one final go. And you got some guys already out on track looking to get their final lap done as we have just 3 minutes to go here in qualifying. As Boosted GMC has retired. Oh no, looks like he's gone off at Ascari. I believe LDR Redeemer is actually going to pick him up right here. Yeah, and that is a roadblock if I have ever seen one. Looks like most of our drivers are going to avoid him. So very well done there. His car is now off the track. We'll take it back here on to Fontes, who's already a second half up through sector 2. He's doing very well on his time. He needs to. He's sitting there with a 1:24.0 right now. So he definitely needs to improve massively on this time if he wants to get into the top 10 or even competitively into the top 5. See if Fontes put himself in the top 10 here. Yes, he will. That is actually P6 of the 120.7 there. Very well done there from Fontes. As a Greek Wookiee right behind him placing the time. It doesn't look like he improved at all, so take it to the set of McLaren drivers. We have LDR Redeemer just trailing his teammate, and a Red Bull as well. And Big Mr. Brown trying his best to get out the way. Looks like he's going to impede his teammate's lap just a little bit there. Hopefully that didn't cost LDR Redeemer any time, but we'll see if Greek Wookiee now can place himself in the top 10. Here on the soft compound tires, he's doing some practice laps, and he's now P4 of the 120.3. And LDR Redeemer crossing the line, but not enough at all. Looks like probably fell off on that lap, so still sitting P15. This Funky Cactus is now having a go here, locking up massively through turn 1. See the Red Bull there. I believe that was the Greek Wookiee getting out the way. Or I made a mistake, that may have been Orange Crush. Oh, and Funky, that's an invalidated lap right there, so he will not improve on his time. So it's going to be up to PV9 Magic. And I believe Vexing Track here to have a nice little shootout till the end. We got 10 seconds remaining, and Vexing Track is not going to get to the line. He's going to be short on time, unfortunately, as the session has now ended, and Vexing is not going to get a time in. And PV9 Magic, however, is already 3/10 up. I completely lied. PV9 Magic was not up at all. He hadn't even completed sector 1. But now he comes through the Lesmo. He's got to get at least. Oh, and there goes his teammate of PPR, Ollie's. Ollie's has taken out his teammate unintentionally. Ollie's was already retired. I believe he went off at the Lesmo, and that's now PV9 Magic out. He is not going to improve on his time. And it looks like he might end qualifying just like that. We'll go on board here with the coach. Crossed the line and did not improve. So that is the end of our qualifying. And unfortunately for PV9 Magic, attempting to still pull away from Funky Cactus, gets his lap taken away from him, from his teammate of Ollie's unintentionally. As I said, Ollie's was already retired on track, just at a horrible spot. There's almost no way you're going to avoid the car sitting in between Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 right there. It's unavoidable, and that is very unfortunate for PV9 Magic. But our top 3 stands Funky Cactus, PV9 Magic, Vexing Track, followed by Fontes, the Greek Wookiee, rounding off 4th and 5th, followed by Ollie's in 6th, Father Corn in 7th, Boosted GMC in 8th. I believe that was Bestion in 9th. We will get another look very shortly at the rest of our grid. And there we have it. 9th was Bestion, followed by his teammate of Sprightly in 10th. Outside of the top 10 was Big Mr. Brown, the coach, Groggy, Orange Crush, Redeemer, and Night Shrimp, who did not set a time in the session. Unsure whether or not he was serving a quali ban, but nonetheless, that is the grid as it stands. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break. We'll meet you guys right back during the formation lap and for the start of the race. Once again, I am PPR Nick, and I am so excited that you guys have joined us tonight to watch Xbox Division 4 here at Monza. All right, folks, and we are back here halfway through the formation lap. Got Funky Cactus leading all of our guys. They warm up their tires. Take a look there. Only have 3 drivers starting out on the mediums. Obviously, the entire top 10 qualified on the softs, so that's what they're starting out the race on. And we got Big Mr. Brown, Orange Crush, and LDR Redeemer all starting on the mediums. We'll see how that comes into play strategy-wise by the end of the race. Looks like PB9 Magic was not happy with the pace of Funky Cactus there, overtaking him during the formation lap. So no harm, no foul. We now just wait for all of our drivers to come around Parabolica and get themselves sorted back onto their grid spots, and the run up to turn 1 to come. And here we go. Looks like got the Ferrari of Night Shrimp now falling into the back of the grid. We now just wait for lights out. Here we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for Xbox Division 4. Everyone's off to a decent start. Besides Magic, he's already gotten overtaken by, I believe that was Vexing Track. Now sliding through turn 1, got a Red Bull ghosting through. Magic getting completely crunched, but going 3 wide. Looks like the rest of our grids made it very safely through. Not too much changing. Got the Greek Wookiee now diving down the inside of both racing points, making the run up here to the chicane. Oh, they have a little bit of a touch. There's an end plate going off. Looks like both racing points have not had a great turn of events now. It looks like Funky Cactus did lose a bit of his end plate. We'll check that later on, but that's now the Greek Wookiee into P1. And Magic now into 3rd. Followed by Funky Cactus sitting right on the gearbox there. Magic is going to take it down the inside. He does have that left end plate missing, so we were right, but he gets the overtake done and back into 3rd. See if he opts to stay out on track and just use the slipstream to his advantage. So that's definitely going to cost him massively down the straights. You got a nice little slipstream fest going on. It looks like the Greek Wookiee's having some disconnect issues right now. That is not what you want to see, especially when he's sitting in 1st place. He's going to get overtaken by Vexing Track. Looks like he's now back to his car, but that could be an issue for some of our drivers if he keeps disconnecting massively like that. It looks like everything's back to normal for him, as something has gone wrong with Fontes. Looks like he just outbroke himself, comes back on track pretty safely, or as safely as he could do, and he's now going to be in a P8. We got the Greek Wookiee now just staring down that gearbox of Vexing Track. As we also have the coach going off as well. Got yellow flags. Doesn't look like we're having a safety car. It looks like the coach is still going well. Just spun it himself, quite possibly. The top 4, 5, even 6 are very close to one another. We're still very early in this race, just lap 2 of 27. And it looks like the coach has once again gone off, but this time through Lesmo 1. He might have overheated his tires and now just struggling to cool him down and keep his car stable on track. Oh, Funky Cactus going pretty wide there out of Parabolica. This could be easy work for PB9 Magic. The Vexing Track sets the fastest lap of the race. We have a drag race now going down to turn 1. It looks like Funky's going to win this one out, but Magic got enough room to make a move, and he sends it down the inside. And not much that Funky can do. He just concedes the place and will now sit back in P4 as he still has to deal with that wing damage that he has going on. Doesn't look like it's harming him too much here in the race. Magic defending down the inside and back on the racing line. Oh, but he slides massively out of the chicane, and they're now going side by side through Lesmo 1, and Funky Cactus gets it done before the apex of the turn. The coach has picked up a 5-second time penalty. And PB9 Magic is looking to get right back here at Funky in the battle for third position. Got to watch out for Father Corn, Ollies, and Fantas all behind them as well. One mistake from these guys could see them lose at least 3 to 4 spots at most, so gotta play it safe, but at the same time be a little bit aggressive, and that's what we're seeing from both of these drivers here very early. This Magic takes a peek. Nothing going for him. DRS should be enabled. We're now on lap 3. There you go, you hear the sound. Fantas is actually put in the fastest lap of the race. Funky getting closer to the Greek Wookiee. Cuts a little bit of the corner right there. Looks like something's gone very wrong with PB9 Magic. He is now off through turn 1 and 2, back onto the track. Might have just missed his braking point there. Unsure what went wrong. We take it back up to Funky Cactus. That's going to be sad news there for the Williams team, because PB9 Magic was just sitting right there in P4 and unfortunately just was unable to catch what exactly went wrong with him. He's now right behind his teammate of PPR Ollies. They sit in 6th and 7th respectively. As Funky is slowly gaining now on the Red Bull here. Greek Wookiee. Oh, the Greek Wookiee going wide. Cost him a little bit of time there. Funky's going to have DRS. But so is Greek Wookiee in front. Funky, nonetheless, though, looks like he has the higher top speed. Oh, but backs out of the move at the last second. So let's see if we can get it over under. It doesn't look like it's going to stick at all. Now just going to make it a drag race here, but just not enough room to go side by side there with the Greek Wookiee. So going to maintain his spot there in third, but they're slowly catching up to Vexing Track, who's sitting right there in P1. Oh, and there goes the Greek Wookiee hitting the gravel. Oh, they go side by side, and a little bit of disconnect issues going on right there. So fortunately for both drivers, did not end up in a DNF, but however, Sprightly has retired. He's gone off to Lesmo 1, so we have a VSC. See if we can pick up Sprightly really quick. Doesn't look like we are, as that is going to be Sprightly's day over. We have a little bit of a break in the action now here with the VSC top 3. Watching this battle for the majority of the race. That's Vexing in first, followed by Seaman Funky and the Greek Wookiee in third. Can't forget about Father Corn, sitting in that Alfa Romeo in fourth, followed by Fontes, PPR Ollies. Boosted GMC has found his way into 7th, as PB9 Magic's now fallen all the way down to 12th. Unsure what's going wrong with him, but there goes Boosted GMC into the pits. Looks like he's going to take advantage here of the VSC. See if that's going to play off towards the end of the race, or if having more tire wear on those mediums, presumably that he's going on those, is going to affect him. Oh no, and that is Funky now making a mistake, and then right next to him, the Greek Wookiee making a mistake. This is going to leave Father Corn the opportunity to put himself into third place. he's now going to deal with the Greek Wookiee, who is just ghosting on the track, unsure what exactly is going wrong with him, but he's going to lose another place now to Fontes after getting a horrible exit out of Ascari. We have yet another car off at Ascari, and that looks to be the coach, as he's had a lot of problems right now in the race. Looks like Fontes now is getting a run here. Father Corn is just going to be a sitting duck. Makes a move down the inside. Defends it, but still can't get enough. Funky's off. Greek Wookiee and Fontes are off. This might be Father Corn to P2. Had 3 drivers make a mistake at the same turn at the same time. And variable penalties going right there as something's gone wrong with Fontes. What is... Oh, he's taking out Big Mr. Brown. Looks like Fontes left the session, and in doing so, he's taken out Big Mr. Brown. There is a safety car, and Big Mr. Brown's losing a bit of his wing. That's definitely going to be something the stewards are going to have to look at post-race, as Ollie's now getting a drive-through. We're seeing Big Mr. Brown really struggling just to make a 3-point turn with no wing. But that is not a good look there for Fontes, as the stewards will most likely deal with that very heavily. But this safety car is going to help out the Greek Wookiee, Ollie's, and Funky Cactus, all who made that mistake through turn 1. And Fontes is now joined back. Unfortunately, I don't think he's quite sure what his AI driver just did. Unsure how our stewards will penalize that, since, I don't know, leave that up to the stewards, I guess. And so it looks like we're going to have the Ferrari now of Night Shrimp, who's already pitted, really benefit the most off of this. He's on the hardest too, he can go till the end. He's not going to have the pace as all the other guys who are presumably coming in on the mediums. Oh, Night Shrimp's actually unlapping himself, so I'm completely lying to all of our viewers. I do apologize. Our first place will actually be Orange Crush, who's opting not to pit yet. Vexing Track still coming out in second, followed by Father Corn. We got the Greek Wookiee as well. Ollie's, Fontes, Taeon. Got Funky Cactus passing them all up. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing things on my screen that are not there. We go down the rest of our grid, and hopefully I will stop hallucinating. Go ahead and look at stops. So everyone on the grid has stopped so far besides Orange Crush. Orange Crush, the only driver who still needs to come in. So he's definitely completely hurt his race now by staying out, because presumably he's going to get overtaken by every car if he does pit under safety car now. And if he drags out those tires, he's just going to lose place after place, presumably to the drivers behind him who are on much fresher tires. And it does look like Fontes here is having some disconnect issues, as he's left the session once again. And we are unable to invite him back, so hopefully he can find himself back in the session, or else we may see another AI on non-AI car crime. But we are now coming out to lap number 9, and it has been a very eventful race, to say the least. We've seen a lot of action, some great battles, but now we get a nice little reset, as it looked like the Racing Point drivers were really going to have quite a strong race. Vexing Track definitely is. However, Funky has fallen back to 9th place. P9 Magic as well, and the Williams is having a fantastic start. But after a couple mistakes, he's found himself in the P10. So see if those guys can start to climb their ways back up the grid, and hopefully not get into one of each other's ways, because they have quite similar pace. So we'll see how it works out for them, as well as Father Corn, who's really benefited a lot from mistakes of drivers in front of him. However, him and Vexing have opted for the hards. Meanwhile, the Greek Wookiee behind them sitting on the mediums as well as boosted GMC. However, he's got more tread wear, I should say, on those tires since he did pit before the safety car. But the Greek Wookiee might be sitting very nice here very early in the second stint for most of these drivers. We'll see whether or not the hards or the mediums are going to play out by the end of the race. I got to say, it's going to be the mediums. I think the Greek Wookiee's in a great position right now. Those tires are definitely going to last until the end, probably with no problem. And get the maximum amount of life he can on them. And the hards, I mean, they're not going to fall off at all. That definitely should be said, but not going to have the pace that those mediums do. As it looks like the safety car is going to stay out for another lap. Presumably for Night Shrimp, who's still so far back. Oh, well, now we have Ollie's coming in the pits. What is... We try to get to Ollie's to see. Yeah, he's going to throw on some medium tires. Oh, and a new front wing. Looks like he caught some damage. So that is not looking good there for Ollie's. He's now going to fall all the way back to 14th position. But yeah, our two teams who looked very solid in qualifying at Racing Point and Williams have now seen 3 of their drivers fall outside of the top 5. Let's see if Vexing Track can keep his race going strong, because presumably he is provisional P1 after Orange Crush makes his first stop of the afternoon. And while we are still under the safety car, make sure that you go check out our website, PPR Esports, for all of our socials. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and obviously YouTube. That is safety car in this lap. Go check that out. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. We post a lot of stuff on YouTube as well, Twitter, Instagram. Find out everything that's going on in the world of PPR. But back now to the race unfolding before our very own eyes. Orange Crush is going to lead us out here. The safety car comes in. And there you see it, safety car is in. Orange Crush still has yet to go up speed, and now there we have it. We are back to racing. Father Corn, see if he has anything to go here. Vexing doesn't look like he's gonna have a move on Orange Crush. The Greek Wookiee, however, just shoots it around the outside. Both Red Bulls miss turn 1. Greek Wookiee doing his best to just stay out the way of all the other drivers, even though he's losing massively positionally. Vexing Track now just getting around Orange Crush pretty easily. Father Corn will be next up. Funky Cactus has already found himself up into 6th. PV9 Magic in the 5th, so those guys have made a jump from their positions before safety car very well. Unfortunately, it looks like LDR Redeemer got caught up in some sort of trouble because he's fallen all the way back down to 14th place. We're now sitting on board here with Father Corn. As Vexing Track is looking just to run away with this race right now. The Greek Wookiee, a 3-second time penalty. So after looking nicely, he has fallen back quite massively. You got the Toro Rosso now of Fontes making a dive down the inside, and then you got PV9 Magic beating him out. Magic now is going to be all on the back of Father Corn. Father Corn is going heavy there on the inside, but he's going to be a sitting duck. And we got 2x2 now going with Fontes and Funky Cactus. See how this all plays out. Hopefully they all make it safely through turn 1. Looks like they are. Father Corn getting overtaken. Fontes and Funky getting very close. Funky Cactus giving quite the squeeze as he's now sitting P5. But it looks like Greek Wookie's now sorted himself as well, so he's back in the fight. We got quite the battle for P3 going right now. However, it will be the battle for second and third after Orange Crush finally decides to come in, but that might be a while from now. I'm presuming that he's going to wait it out until he can hop on the softs and go strong till the end of the race. This Funky's gotten a great run on Father Corn. The Greek Wookie overtaking Fontes after a mistake out the exit there of Ascari. We have a VSC for Night Shrimp. He's gone off at Ascari. Already got himself back on the track and sorted. So the VSC goes away very quickly. Fontes has left the session, so we now have a glitch in the matrix. That's not going to say that Fontes is first place, however, he definitely is not. So first place is Vexing Track. You see Fontes there, right there, sitting at what I believe is P8. So he's joined back in the session, but and there we go. Now he's back. Everything is back to normal. There you go. Got Vexing Track first, and as falls behind Orange Crush and PB9 Magic. PB9 Magic having a great restart to this race. He's already in third. Father Corn trying his best to keep up with these guys. Magic now going side by side here with Orange Crush. Orange Crush trying not to give up too much, but he's going to have to concede the place. And he picks up a 3-second time penalty in doing so. Now we got Father Corn behind him, but Father Corn's got to realize he's got a racing point right behind him as well. And that's Funky getting himself into P4. So after some early mistakes from PB9 Magic and Funky Cactus, they've now found themselves back in the podium positions. And I say that, as I've said earlier, after Orange Crush's pit stop. But Father Corn definitely getting a scream from his engineer there, because he's got to pick up the pace, because he is falling back from all of these other drivers in front. Granted, PB9 Magic and Funky are both on the medium compound tires, so we'll see if Father Corn can pick up some pace towards the end of the stint. See if those mediums just fall off too much for the guys in front. It looks like Funky's now going to get the move done on Orange Crush. So Orange is now falling in the fourth place and out of podium contention. He's now going to have Father Corn right behind him. See if Father Corn can pick up a place after losing so many to the guys that were behind him after the safety car. See if he can finally grab P4 and just stare at a podium for the time being. PB9 Magic has now gone as fast as it's a 123.4 for the Toothpaste Williams driver. And he is on a charge for Vexing Track there in first. Father Corn still unable to get a move done here on Orange Crush. Orange Crush, though, cutting all types of corners. He's definitely starting to struggle there on the 14-lap old medium tires, and he nearly makes contact there with Father Corn. And he's now conceded yet another place, and he's now P5. Father Corn's throwing himself into P4. He's got his teammate now, the Greek Wookie, behind him. But Wookie's got to watch out now for Fontes there, who's in P7. We'll see if we have some team wars going on right here, or if Orange Crush decides to spin from his teammate. Nope, he's not conceding position just yet. Oh, is PV9 Magic's retired? He's gone off at Ascari. All of our drivers have to get out the way. Whoa, and that was very close there from Fontas. Actually, no, Fontas did make contact. And he's now got damage. And we have yet another safety car for PV9 Magic, who I was just applauding for doing such a great job of crawling back up into podium position, but unfortunately for him, he just couldn't keep his car stable, and he lost it there at Ascari. We've seen almost all of our DNFs this race week here at Monza, all of them coming at Ascari. We might have had one or two at Lesmo 1, but other than that, in the race, it's all been at the very exit of Ascari, and it's now taking another victim, and that is PV9 Magic, who was looking at a podium, but it's now looking very solid for Racing Point. They got themselves back 1-2, and Father Corn has found himself somehow back in the third place. He's definitely shown that he doesn't have the pace, but he has some consistency to keep his car on track, not make mistakes, and that's really what's gotten him here on the podium. Maybe see if he can start to ramp up his tires just a little bit. However, I doubt it. Under the safety car, Funky's going to get to save a little bit of his tires. Vexing track, though, on the hards. Going to be interesting to see if the Racing Point guys fight it out, because they are in championship battle mode at this point in the season. They're both sitting first and second. Vexing in first, Funky in second. So I don't think we're going to see any team orders here between them. Definitely going to see some great racing, but this is what you love to see. Been a great race, and now we got 1 and 2 in the championship battle. Going to fight it out till the end, as presumably the safety car will come in about, I would hope, this next lap. There's probably another 2 laps under the safety car, so we'll probably look about another 9 laps of racing. Ooh, and Vexing took a peek at the pits. No, he's staying out. So far, as we already said, got the Racing Points 1-2, Father Corn in third. The Greek Wookie now back into fourth. Got Groggy in fifth, followed by Big Mr. Brown and Taeon. Orange Crush, Fontis, Boosted GMC. Got Nitrimp here in the Ferrari. Hasn't quite been his day, but he might find some points by the end of it. Now got Ollies and then LDR Redeemer rounding out our final position in 13th. Has to also be said, we're going to see some rain here at the end of the race. And you already start to see the clouds starting to form. It's supposed to be towards the very tail end. I was told like the last 2 laps with some of our drivers were guessing, but since we've had so many VSCs, we've had, I believe, 2 VSCs and 2 safety cars this race. We might see the rain come earlier in the race, and maybe our drivers have to put on some intermediates, and that could definitely shape up how our grid looks by the end of this race. And while we're under this break, just want to thank everyone that has been tuning in tonight. We greatly appreciate all the love and support here at PPR. If you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and as I said earlier, check out our website, PPR Esports. That's where you can find all of our socials and figure out what's going on in the world of PPR. As it looks like, the safety car is going to be out for just 1 more lap. Oh, it's not. It's coming in right now. That's going to be interesting to see how our grid sorts this out. We saw this in our PC Division 1 race, I believe. Vexing track is off. Looks like all of our drivers have not gotten sandwiched because of that. So, very nicely done. Got the Racing Points making a run up to the line. Father Corn right behind them. No contact made. However, I say that, and we got Groggy, who was looking at a great finish. Just parks it on track after a spin. I believe that was LDR Redeemer they made contact with. Redeemer just not having the best of days, it should be said. Now takes back up to the top 3, even 4. Got the Greek Wookiee now right behind Father Corn. Got to watch out for Fontas as well there in 5th. After that, got a little split up in the action. Got Orange Crush in 6th, but he's on the sauce. Fontas on the sauce as well, so these guys can maybe make up a charge. The podium is definitely not safe at all. And with the threat of rain, this could be a very exciting finish. We now take it up to the racing points. We're going side by side. It looks like that's going to be Funky Cactus now into 1st. Vexing now going to fall back into 2nd. He is going to have the benefit of DRS here. So is the Greek Wookiee on Father Corn. Looks like the Greek Wookiee is going to get this done before turn 1. Take it back up here to Vexing. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. Oh, there goes Fontas. 3 wide. Oh, contact with Father Corn. Father Corn's made contact with Fontas. Fontas now into the Greek Wookiee. Oh, Fontas coming back out on track, making contact with the Red Bull of Orange Crush. Bestion is retired from the session in the pits. Father Corn is now falling back into 5th. And not the best showing here towards the end of the race, especially for Fontas. He's been in quite a few incidents, one where he wasn't in control of his car, but that one as well, not looking too good for him. Come stewards report time. But nonetheless, he's making a move here on the Greek Wookiee for P3. He is missing his right end plate, and the clouds are starting to form even more. But he's doing the most that he can right now on the softs, as Orange Crush is now lost out to ollies. Oh, going sideways. Orange Crush now has to make evasive action. He's picking up too much speed. Now Big Mr. Brown getting through both of them, just slithering through it like a snake. Going down the inside. Boosted GMC also get a move done here on Big Mr. Brown, throwing it around the outside. DRS has now been enabled once again. You got a 3-way battle right here. Orange Crush is going to lose out. Boosted GMC is going to get a big win. He's also on the soft, so it's going to be a drag race now. But Big Mr. Brown is going to close it off. Holds the inside line. Boosted GMC going around the outside. Big Mr. Brown leaving the space. Oh, and Boosted GMC nearly losing the back end there. Now he's going to lose it back out here to Orange Crush. Orange Crush back into 7th. It looks like it's going to stay that way for now. You also got to watch out for Nitrim. Nitrim's found himself into P9. And Orange Crush with a lot of penalties right now. Not looking too good for his race at the moment, because those could set him back massively depending on what the rest of the grid has. Oh no, and there goes Boosted GMC into the gravel and back safely on track. Still in 10th place. There's still a point to be had, but he's going to be kicking himself because of where he was at on track. Back up now with Father Corn, who is staring down the Greek Wookiee, who's currently in 3rd. Got Fontas there in 5th, who just had an off that we just missed with all the action on midfield was providing. But he's now back down to 5th. Looks like Father Corn now is going to have a great run on the Greek Wookiee. DRS enabled. Greek Wookiee holding the inside line. Both keeping it very nicely done there. Greek trying to go for the over-under on Father Corn. Can't get it done. And you can hear Fontas right behind them. Now got the Greek Wookiee going on the outside. Father Corn just going to give him a squeeze. What it looks like, yes he is. Nicely done there from the Alfa Romeo. He's going to keep P3. LGR Redeemer's gone fastest lap, but he's sitting 20 seconds back in 11th. Unsure if he's going to be able to get that extra point into the top 10. It looks like Fontas is now still going to go around the outside of the Greek Wookiee. Greek Wookiee going to give him the space. He's got to be careful. They make a little bit of contact. Fontas hits the grass. Now he's through the gravel. And that was as close as you could get between those guys. top two is still Funky and Vexing. Vexing starting to lose out a little bit to his teammate and championship rival. And there we go. We are now been hit by rain. It is lap 22 of 27. And this is shaking things up quite a bit. And we'll see if we only have just light rain. These guys don't have to pit. But it's going to be an interesting fight to the finish, because if the rain starts getting heavier and these guys can't stay out on their current set of tires, it is all going to be up to who can get through till the end. It looks like Night Shrimp already opted to go on the intermediates there. He also got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in pit lane, and he has definitely come in way too early. The rain is just barely trickling down on track. I don't think there's too much concern right now, but here we go. Greek Wiki now trying to pick up that third place once again now on Father Corn. Father Corn's going on the inside line going through Parabolica. That is the line that you want. He's going to be able to keep it. Let's see who has DRS. It's going to be the Greek Wookie, as Father Corn got that position back before the detection zone. Oh, neither one of them have DRS. Looks like DRS has been disabled. Oh, and the Greek Wookie outbraking himself. And that's going to leave Fontes now able to pick up P3, and Greek Wookie's not giving the place back. Fontes' AI is now taking control for whatever reason, and he's now lost both positions. And that is going to be something else stewards have to look at post-race, because that was definitely an illegal overtake there from the Greek Wookie. But nonetheless, Father Corn's got to watch out now for Fontes. Fontes there, still in the softs, 7 laps in, so he's still got some life in him. Father Corn getting very deep on his hards as well. We now have boosted GMC and Groggy, who both came to the pits for intermediates. See how it goes for those guys. Oh, and there goes the Greek Wookie, almost going off into the Scary. He's going to lose third place to Father Corn, then fourth to Fontes. Fontes trying to go around the outside. There was no room to go. You're going to have to back off. He's going to shoot down the inside. Father Corn not getting the greatest of exits here through Parabolica. See, they looked like they might have been debating a pit stop right there. But nonetheless, now Fontes getting around Father Corn. Big Mr. Brown here in fifth, getting around the Greek Wookie. Father Corn might lose out to Big Mr. Brown. Big Mr. Brown very heavy on the brakes. Doesn't lock up. Gets the move done. Definitely cut turn 2. But nonetheless, showing some of our drivers how to break through turn 1. Because we've seen some heavy lockups and some massive corner cuts. Nonetheless, Big Mr. Brown now up in the 4th place. Got Father Corn looking around the outside, back on the inside. Big Mr. Brown just sitting in the middle of the track. Nowhere for Corn to go. And Greek Wookie is just taking out Father Corn and Big Mr. Brown both at the same time. I'm sorry, but I don't know what's going on with the Greek Wookie at the moment. This is not what you want to see here at all here at Racing at PPR. Let stewards handle that post-race. That's all I'll say, but not a great look for the Greek Wookie there, as he's now just shunted Father Corn off, and Father Corn is looking to get a podium quite possibly tonight, is now back in the 7th position. Nonetheless, take it to the McLaren here. Big Mr. Brown, who has had a fantastic end of this race. He's now sitting in P4, and depending on where Fontes is penalty-wise, he might find himself on the podium positions. It's looking like it's going to be too late for most of our drivers to make a pit for intermediates and really have it matter in the race. So looks like they're going to be stuck with what they got. These gaps are now very heavy set. So it looks like it's all going to be a battle of penalties or who makes a mistake on track at this moment. It looks like Vexing's starting to catch back up to his teammate of Funky. They got about 2.5 laps to go here. Ollie's has come into the pits. Is he going on intermediates? Looks like he is. He's still going to come back in 9th place, so nothing lost between him. He'll exit back out right in front of Groggy. Vexing still sitting about 1.8 to 2 seconds back from his teammate. As DRS has been disabled, Big Mr. Brown has gone into the grass and losing a lot of time through Ascari. That's now going to be Orange Crusher in the 4th, so by him staying out at the first safety car, it's definitely paid off for him as he now in 4th. He's got wing damage, but if he can make that last till the end of the race, he's going to be very well off a 4th place finish, and I think he'll be quite happy with that. Looks like Funky, though, has gone off at turn 1. And after looking to catch up here in the championship, he's going to lose out once again to his teammate. And that's going to be another 6 points. I'm sorry, 7 points. As Funky's just completely cut the corner. Didn't pick up a time penalty from it. So he might not have enough corner cutting so far in the race for him to get a penalty. So maybe playing a little bit of strategy right there, or he might have just lost it through the braking zone. I'm going to go with he probably lost it through the braking zone. We've seen that quite a lot here tonight. But he's still got a chance to catch up to Vexing. It's not all lost yet, but this rain starting to play a part in this race. As you see our guys struggling, it's going to be all up to who has the most confidence right now. As Funky's catching up to his teammate by a couple tenths, but it's not enough for him to make a clear charge here on the final lap of the race. So it's all up the Vexing track. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, he's going to find himself in 1st place, barring any crazy penalties. We have Matt Ryan in the comments giving some heavy comments. Oh, and Funky, what is going on with Funky? He's lost it yet again. He's now seeing 1st place getting taken away. 3rd place has now gotten taken away. Fontas, barring penalties and stewards reports, is sitting in 2nd. Doesn't look like Orange Crush will be able to catch up to Funky too much, but Funky is definitely struggling with the rain now, as he's lost out massively, and that's definitely hurting him now in the championship battle. He's got end plate damage. The Vexing track, I would say he's going to ride off into the sunset. However, it's going to be into some storm clouds, probably by the podium celebrations. Let's take it here to Boost GMC and Night Shrimp having a little battle through turn 1 as they start their final laps of the race. Big Mr. Brown, another battle here on the last lap with Orange Crush. Orange Crush going off just a little bit. See if Big Mr. Brown can make a run on him for P4. Big Mr. Brown has the inside. Looks like he's going to get that move done. Orange Crush losing out, but a shout out to Vexing Track. That is P1, Fontas in 2nd. And here comes Funky Cactus in 3rd. Not the last lap that he's going to remember, but still on the podium. Followed by Big Mr. Brown, Orange Crush, and Father Corn in P6. Who knows, he could have had a better finish, P5, but nonetheless, there he goes for the Alfa Romeo team. Behind them is LDR Redeemer coming home in P7 as the rain starts to get pretty heavy here. PPR Ollies, P8, Groggy now, and the Haas in P9, followed by the Greek Wookie we'll definitely be looking at from the stewards. Coming in 10th, 9th, 11th, and Boosted GMC in his league race debut, P12. So there you have it, folks. It has been a very interesting race, to say the least. But I hope all of you enjoyed the racing, whether or not some of us will agree on what we just saw happen through some of the moments during the race. It was still a great battle between Funky, Cactus, and Vexing Track. Unfortunately for Funky, he just lost out there at the end, was unable to handle the wet conditions, but that's what you need to do. As I've been removed from my own party, but that is what you need to do to win a championship, and you just didn't have it today. But we'll get him in for an interview and see how our drivers feel after this race.
If you were down,